Greetings one and all. Welcome back to my kitchen here today, where I am going to be making a curry, a goat meat curry. Now this is no ordinary curry. This is going to be one of the spiciest, hottest curries. We're going to be using a lot of chili and a lot of very hot chilies. If that's not your thing, you could tone it down a little bit, but really this dish, Laal Maas, is known for its super spiciness, and it's for a reason. It comes from Rajasthan. Rajasthan's a bit of a desert state. If you sort of know a bit about India, it's traditionally used lots and lots and lots of chilies, basically as a preservative. So if you're using meat, they came up with this sort of curry to really hit it with the chili spice and stop it from basically going off without refrigeration. So let's get on with it. And I say authentic, it's going to be reasonably authentic. As authentic as I can get it, not being in Rajasthan. So first thing I need to do is I've got these dried chilies, and I've got two different sorts, and I need to give them a soak. Now the first sort we wanted to use are called Mutton chilies, and they're the traditional Rajasthani ones. I couldn't get them, so I went to several Indian supply shops. They weren't available, but this is sort of the closest I could get. These are red chili, and these are the hottest. Well, it says hottest. So there were several different sorts, and this is the only one that said hottest, and I've given them a bit of a test, and believe me, they are hot. Mathania's chilies, the traditional ones, are supposed to be hot as F, and believe me, these are hot AF as well. So they'll do, and they look like this. Now to augment that, I've got 4 of those. I've got here also 4 dry Kashmiri chilies whole, and they're a bit more common, easier to get. I guess when I was talking about making a milder version, you could probably just use all Kashmiri chilies, and Kashmiri chilies are spicy, don't get me wrong, but very, very on the lower end of the spectrum compared to chilies like this and Mathania, by the sounds of them. Right, I need to soak these in water for maybe an hour or so. I'm just going to pop the stems like so off them. The Kashmiri ones as well. And I'll just gently push them down. We don't want to be too vigorous with them, because we don't want all the seeds to fall out, because we're going to be using them. And as you all know, that's one of the hottest parts. This is, yeah, another name you could call this dish, I think, is insanely hot curry. Alrighty, so I've just whacked my chilies into my little processor here. But yeah, it's about an hour later. Now I'm just going to tip a little bit of that water that the chilies were soaking in, just a little bit. Get the lid on this fella. And we're gonna give it a good whiz up. Alrighty guys, so it's time to start constructing my Laal Maas curry, my insanely hot curry. Now the first thing I've got in here is I've got about 3 tablespoons of ghee that I've just had on a medium-high heat, melting away. I'm going to add to that a few whole spices here. So I've got a cinnamon quill, a whole cinnamon quill. I've got 4 green cardamom pods. I've got 2 black cardamom pods. I've got 4 cloves, and I've just got a couple of bay leaves. And we'll just give them a little, while our ghee's come up to heat, we'll let that those whole spices flavour that ghee a bit as well. Alright, so we're just a minute or two later. Now the next thing I'm going to add is I've just cut in half and peeled, cut in half and sliced up a couple of, they were just sort of small size onions, small to medium. And as per usual, my Vosteed Morgan chef's knife made quick work of that. I will leave and as per usual, I will leave a link in the video description to their website. Okay, that's now that onion's been sauteing away for about 5 minutes. It's just starting to change colour, going a bit translucent. Like I say, I'll put that down more on a medium heat. Nothing's burning. Now I've got here about 8 cloves of garlic. Now that I've grated. They were very small cloves. So in they go. And I've got a big knob of ginger that I've grated. And we'll just mix that in. And again, just gently keep sauteing that away, and as per usual, as soon as the garlic and the ginger hits that ghee, you get a beautiful aroma up your nose like a rubber hose. It is very, very pleasing to the olfactory system. Alrighty, now next here I'm going to add my meat. Now I've got, like I said, I've got goat meat here, which this morning, it's about 1 kg, so I don't know, roughly 1.5 pounds. I got my butcher just to cut it into fairly large chunks, with the bones still in it, like so. So we'll throw those in, all of them. And I'm just going to sprinkle over that. I've got 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and about a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to mix that through. Now guys, I nearly forgot, at this stage also, if you're making this in the authentic, traditional way, you would add about a teaspoon of a powder called katri. And again, this is from Rajasthan. It's a sort of a fruit, what looks like a bit like a cucumber, that they dry and then pound into a powder. And it actually just acts as a meat tenderizer. It's not so much for flavour and that. Well, of course, I looked everywhere and I couldn't get it. Probably could buy it online, but I wanted to cook this today. What I did buy from the Indian shop was just this powdered meat tenderizer, and I'm just going to substitute about a teaspoon of that. Sprinkle it over my goat pieces. Give it another stir up and continue browning my meat. Alrighty guys, so my goat meat has been sauteing away there just for about 10 minutes or so. As you can see, there's that sort of oil sort of splitting a bit down the bottom there. So a lot of our water's evaporating. Starting to stick a little bit, that's all good. It's time, I think, to get our chili paste we made earlier from those dried chilies. And here's where we're going to really get some fumes going. So we're going to get all that chili in there. And I've also got a 200 gram tub of Greek yogurt, curd, and I'm going to get about half of that in there as well. I'm going to stir it up for it. I'm just going to keep cooking this and giving it a stir fairly regularly, but I am going to put a bit of a lid on it while that's happening as well. So like I say, I'll just keep an eye on that, give it a stir now and then, and we'll go for probably another 10 minutes or so. Alrighty guys, it's probably about more like about 15-20 minutes. I said 10 minutes, so yeah, about double that. All I was waiting for, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I've got the handheld camera hoping it'll be a bit clearer, but see how that, again, that oil in there starting to separate. Fog it up. Anyway, like I say, about 20 minutes later, my meat's looking really, really good. Nice and brown. So at this point, I'm just going to add some water. And I've got here about a cup and a half, but what I've done is I've mixed it into that container that I minced up my chili paste in, and that's just to get the dregs of that chili that's still in there. So yeah, that, like I say, that's about a cup and a half. Give that a stir up. Give it a scrape on the bottom, it might be starting to stick again there a bit. Just a little bit. So now I'm just going to get that up to a boil, then back down to a simmer. I'm going to get my lid back on it, and I'm just going to slowly simmer that away till the meat's really, really tender. And a lot of that liquid's evaporated. This isn't a real wet curry. There'll be a bit of gravy, but not like a real lot like there is at the moment. Alrighty guys, now as you can see my gravy hasn't really concentrated. There's still a bit there, but it's evaporated heaps. So that's just about done. There's just a couple of minutes to go, and just for that last couple of minutes all I'm going to do is I've got some garam masala here. I'm just going to add about a teaspoon of that. I'm going to stir that through and then just take it off the heat and then just let it cool down. Now, I said this was going to take about an hour to get to this stage. I've got to be honest, it took a lot longer than that. It was a good couple of hours, and I'm guessing the reason for that seemed to be the goat just took a while to get tender, and I mean, it's not a bad thing, because the longer you cook stuff, the more flavour you get into your gravy and that. But yeah, I did assume because of that meat tenderizer and that it would be a lot quicker. But anyway, that's no problem. I wasn't in a hurry. It looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to tasting it. All right, I'll get back to you shortly with the tasting. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, I've now served up my Laal Maas. Yeah, like I say, it took a little bit longer to cook than I expected, which is, like I say again, no problem at all. Let's actually try a bit. As you can see, I've just cooked it up with some naan bread. I've done naan bread on my channel and all that before, so I didn't show you all that process. Let's just try a bit of the meat. And as you can see, the gravy's like really thick, what's left of it. I've cooked that right down, which is what you want for this dish. Pull a bit of the meat up. And we'll just give that a taste. Alright, let's start. It is absolutely delicious. As I sort of suspected, as I was, as the cook went on, leaving it longer has actually really helped develop those flavours really nicely. It's kind of mellowed the chili. Now when I say that, the elephant in the room is obviously how spicy is it, and I'm not going to lie, it's a spicy AF. But in a really good, mature way. Like, it doesn't just burn you. You get that chili sort of hit, and then there's all these flavours that just dance around on your tongue, and they just stay there. You swallow, and they're still there in your mouth, and not burning, not in a painful way, just really nice, delicious chili flavours. And that's what chili is. It's a flavour. It's kind of like I don't know, you just gotta I know a lot of people are intolerant to the spiciness of chili, but it really is just a good flavour in its own right, and there's not much more I can say to it. If you're intolerant to chili, I understand you don't want to go there, but man, it's worth getting there. And you can build up your tolerance to chili. You start off with less spicy, build up to more spicy. It's kind of like, I'm a nurse, I studied pharmacology. It's kind of like a drug. It's like Valium or something. You sort of, as you take it, you need more to get the same hit over time. And yeah, chili's a bit like that. But anyway, I'm wafting on now. So thanks for watching this one. Really appreciate it. Really yummy. That's all I can say. It's not all I can say because I'm waffling on. If you watch this video and you're not a subscriber to the channel, can I just ask you to hit that subscription button? That'd be awesome. Really doesn't affect you in any way, doesn't cost you any money or anything like that. It just really helps me out and my channel and what I'm trying to do here. Alrighty, I will see you all next time.